What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about Canadian news. Because as an American, I really never get to see Canadian news here in the United States from any of our news or media. So today, I'd like to take some time to learn about the current news and events happening in Canada right now, starting with NL Government, that's Newfoundland and Labrador. Newfoundland and Labrador government wins injunction against fishermen amid tense protest at legislature. This is like a tongue twister as well as being a very strange opening article. The Newfoundland Labrador government has an injunction, like a lawsuit or something, against fishermen, against amid a protest at legislature. The fishermen were protesting in Newfoundland and in Labrador. Why? What's going on? Newfoundland and Labrador's provincial budget will not be unveiled on Wednesday after fish harvesters swarmed Confederation Building. Fish harvesters, fishermen swarming the government. What is going on? As part of an ongoing protest over fishery regulations, we are diving into Canadian fishery regulations and legislation today. Not exactly what I expected, but I'm not upset. This is like the first news I've ever encountered in my life that has to do with Newfoundland and Labrador. I gotta be honest. That's just not something or an area you hear about ever here in the United States, that's for sure. Fury warns of mass arrests as fish harvesters vow to continue protest. Why are the fishermen protesting? The fish people. Protests continue to call for out of province sales for all species. So they are upset about fishery regulations. What exactly about their regulations are they upset about? And Newfoundland and Labrador isn't like releasing the budget? Why are they upset about how the budget is being spent? As in regards to fishing regulations, I'm trying my very best to get to the bottom of this. They hoped the budget would be unveiled on Thursday if it's safe to do so. I mean, man, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to mess with like these hardened fishermen from Newfoundland and Labrador, like barging into your legislative government, protesting. I hope peaceful, but here in the United States, the right to protest is very important in making it known to your government, who the government's supposed to be serving you and hearing you out and that sort of thing. And protesting is a way to do that. That is highly, protected right here in the United States. So I don't mind the fishing protest if it's peaceful. It shut down the Confederation building. That's disrupting, but protests are supposed to be disruptive, so I don't know. What is the grievance here? No one wants 500 people to be arrested tomorrow. Are they really going to do that? Holy cow. What's going to happen tomorrow? Because the fishermen are vowing to continue this protest. Yeah, and they're probably thinking, you can't arrest us all, or go ahead, arrest all 500 of us, or of us fishermen. You won't have any cod for dinner for weeks if you do that. But seriously, what's the problem here? The order prevents protesters from causing a nuisance by intimidating, threatening, assaulting employees. I would hope so. That should definitely not be allowed. Public servants are upset or scared after encountering the protesters. Yep. Why are they so upset? That's really what I want to get to here. Protester pleaded with police not to let the public servants inside. If you're going to let them in, you're going to cause trouble for yourselves, and that we will guarantee, says one protester. That's a bit aggressive. What is the problem? That's all. The fishery generates a lot of money for the province, right? That's one reason I would think that the Newfoundland Labrador government would listen to the fishermen if there's something, a grievance that needs to be heard out, something credible. What's the problem? What's the problem? They're asking fish harvesters to allow employees, media guests into the building. Oh, goodness. Are they. Here we go. We're tired of being kept down. We vow to stay here all day. We just want the right to sell our product where we can. Okay. I think there was a little bit before talking about how they can't sell their fish out of the province or something. Um, why are they telling us we can only sell fish here in Newfoundland? Yeah. Why is that? I don't mean to I don't mean to take sides here. I don't know anything about this conflict, but I only have a very limited time to try to understand, and it's like, why don't you just let the fishermen in Newfoundland and Labrador sell their product wherever they want? What's the problem here? Maybe someone could explain the problem. I don't know. But that's what the protest is about, and it sounds like it's going to get a little worse. What the heck? That is not what I expected to hear today, but fascinating. Not the kind of news they share with you down here in the United States, I'll tell you that. Oh, what else do we have here? Beware the buds of March. Oh, how ominous. Why early tulips and cherry blossoms are a growing concern? Tulips and cherry blossoms? Are they a concern in Canada? March blooms are a sign of a warming planet, climate and ecology experts say. It's not that the tulips are going to hurt you. Well, not directly anyway. They might. It's a sign of global warming and climate change. They would start blooming in April, but this year in mid-March, some of the tulips are already poking out of the ground by 2 inches. 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks ahead of schedule. That's interesting. That's kind of grim in a way, kind of ironic, you could say. The beauty of the tulip sprouting out is actually an early signal of your demise, possibly. How's that for poetry? How to photograph the eclipse without frying your phone. That's right, the solar eclipse is coming through the United States in April, right? And Canada, right? And we all want to take pictures of it. God forbid, you just live in the moment and look at it with your eyes. You need to take a photo to put on Instagram. And how do you do this without breaking your phone? That is important. I I need to know this. Not for any reason or anything. No, definitely not. I just am curious. You need to protect your phone camera like your eyes. You got to hold up your Eclipse glasses up to your phone camera. Do you have to sacrifice your eyeballs for a second? Because if they're protecting your phone, they are not protecting your eyes. So it's a bit of a trade-off. We all have to make it. We all have to make these trade-offs. The likes and social media acknowledgement, or going blind. You choose. What else do we have here? We have a very interesting selection of Canadian news today. I'll say that much. Um, for many British Columbians, finding a rental has become a full-time job. Oh gosh. Yeah, there always seems to be some kind of article about housing prices, housing shortage. Even finding rental in British Columbia is like a full-time job, finding somewhere to rent. I'm not surprised. British Columbia is like a very high demand place to live in Canada, right? I believe. Spring is here after Canada's warmest winter on record. Wow, this is kind of going back to the tulips sprouting early. But this is alarming, isn't it? This was like the warmest winter ever here in the United States, so it would make sense it was warm in Canada. I don't know if it felt that way because I saw a lot of interesting stuff about how cold it was in parts of Canada and toilet paper freezing in place and floating in midair, all sorts of weird stuff. Spring is here, Canada's warmest winter on record. 1.45 degrees Celsius above 2023. No kidding. Spring has arrived after a winter that didn't feel much like one. Yeah, like it only felt like winter here in the United States for like 2 weeks. Like, I'm not kidding. And in a lot of parts of the US, there wasn't even snow. There wasn't snow at all. Kind of sad. Didn't even feel like winter. But another part of me isn't exactly upset about that. I gotta be honest. It's like this might be bad to say, but one way you could look at it is like we might all be headed towards some kind of climate change, global warming, heat death in the future. But for right now, in the present time, it's kind of a nice heat. It's kind of an enjoyable global warming at the moment, you know? Just the right amount, just the right amount. I hope that doesn't change, because I'm enjoying the short, mild winters, but I don't think our ancestors and children are going to in the future. Might be a little toasty. But joking aside, the months of December, January, February are the warmest on record, part of a pattern of unprecedented temperatures across the globe. What if we just never have like traditional winter ever again? Ever. Winter is just something you tell your kids and grandkids about in the future. And you're just like, yeah, this white stuff used to fall from the sky, and we'd slide on it. And sometimes we'd eat it for fun with maple syrup. And your kids are like, yeah, whatever you say. Sure, Pops. Let's take you inside. You need to calm down. Uh, past winter, this past winter could be described as a canceled season. Even the seasons are getting canceled these days. Seriously, man, that's so crazy to think about. Like, is it going to be cold next year? I don't know. We'll check back next year if there's a real winter. The rise and fall of Halifax Man illegal TV streaming empire? This should be a Netflix documentary. What is this? Halifax Man illegal TV streaming empire. How? Beast TV. He owned Beast TV, ordered to pay millions to entertainment giants. Was he like had his own network where he was rebroadcasting stuff and streaming things without owning the copyrights or ability to do that, and now he owes $7 million? It's probably good. It was intended as words of wisdom, but oozed cockiness as activists plotted his path to fortune on the internet on an internet forum popular with spammers. Oh, he's a spammer. Oh, throw him away forever in jail. A spammer. How I made 1,000 a day? So he spammed, and he owned something called Beast TV, and he was breaking copyright laws. Yeah, and pirating things. Yeah, okay. And he almost got away with it, but he didn't. What on earth? Canada's inflation rate slowed to 2.8% in February, beating expectations for the second month in a row. Good for Canada. I know we're jumping around a lot here, from streaming to global warming to finance, but whatever. I'm enjoying this. Canada's inflation rate slowing to 2.8. Good for Canada. Like, inflation's actually going down in Canada. Beat expectations. Like, inflation in the United States is not... It's going okay. It's gone down a bit. It's getting under control, but it's not where we thought it would be. And it's not getting better anymore. It's kind of staying flat or even a little up. So Canada actually seems to be doing better at controlling inflation. Good for Canada. I didn't know that. I am distracted by our inflation and rates in the United States here, that I actually didn't know Canada was doing better on that front. So good for Canada. Season of the skunk. Northern Alberta City offers free capture services for smelly pests. That's good. Are skunks a problem in Northern Alberta? Perhaps. As the US moves closer to a TikTok ban, influencers in Canada worry. Yes. I don't know if you've heard about this. They are trying to ban TikTok here in the United States. A lot of people are upset about this. Not because they're worried about TikTok, although some of us kind of are and depend on it when we're using the bathroom to entertain us. But where a lot of people are mad that the United States Congress somehow band together, put aside their differences, finally, to pass a bill on TikTok. Nothing about reforming healthcare or taxes or anything that actually matters. But they managed to work together and pass a bill about TikTok of all things, which is kind of annoying that that's what they're focused about. Yeah, at least some Americans see it that way. And I think Canadian TikTok influencers are worried because if TikTok is banned in the United States, it's going to cut off a lot of revenue and popularity from the app, and it's going to hurt Canadians as well, even if TikTok is allowed in Canada. Just another reason Americans might move to Canada. Imagine that for healthcare and TikTok. What else do we have here? Niagara Falls is getting ready for Eclipse Day, with crowds up to 1 million expected? Are you kidding me? Is this serious? Niagara Falls, is the eclipse going to go right through Niagara Falls? Because I know there's particular spots where the eclipse is best seen. You can actually go see Niagara Falls and be seeing the eclipse. Well, the word is out. 1 million people expected? Can 1 million people fit in Niagara Falls? They're going to be swimming in the river by the end of it. The city's working to bring in mobile towers as it prepares for biggest crowd ever. 1 million people. That's actually amazing. I'd like to see some photos of that when that happens. Niagara Falls, 1 million people? 1 million people at Niagara Falls. I've seen videos of the boat. That boat can only hold like a couple dozen people. 1 million is a bit more than a dozen. When he goes out April 8th to watch the total solar eclipse, he'll have packed everything he might need for the entire day. Oh, God. You might even want to bring a little portable toilet. You won't be able to get out of there when we're talking about 1 million people. My plan is to ride my bike down there with a backpack. I'm going to be loaded with cereal bars and water bottles. And I'll have, of course, my eclipse glasses and extra charger. Well, don't forget to hold your eclipse glasses up to your cell phone when you're taking pictures. We learned about that today as well. That's cool. That's like kind of a once in a lifetime sort of thing. Going to Niagara Falls to see a total solar eclipse. That is cool. But a lot of people are doing it, apparently. Anything else here? Real quick. What is this? Ottawa police struck, kicked, black man in case of mistaken identity? No. This is like something you'd hear about here in the United States, you know? This is something that happened in Canada? Video shows forceful arrest after foot chase? What? What is... Kane or Kane Nyandagara was walking home from Starbucks in Ottawa's East End when he heard the sirens. He's just walking home from Starbucks. Nothing illegal so far. He turned around. According to his description of what happened to him on the morning of Feb 16, he saw police officers with weapons pointing at him. That's already, like, terrifying. Again, this is really not something I expected to read about in Canada. This is, like, something you hear about a lot in the United States, sadly. Like, police driving up and pulling their weapon. I see from the police point of view, if you think that's the suspect, you have to take precautions, but... God, you better be sure. Hands up, they ordered, with their guns drawn. That is terrifying. Get on your knees, one officer called. But Nyandagara, age 27, he hadn't done anything wrong. He dropped his hands and shrugged, as if to ask why. He's like, why? Man, this is... I totally understand this attitude as well, because... There's a lot of people who are like, just do what the police ask of you. Just obey their commands. And I do understand that. And in a lot of circumstances, you should just help them, facilitate what they're doing, and try to help the police. They're there to help you. But when police are just pulling up to you while you're walking home from Starbucks, and they just point guns at you, and tell you to get on your knees, it's like, one of your instincts should probably be like, what is going on? Why? Like, I haven't done anything. I don't live in, like, some kind of totalitarian regime where the police can just show up and like do that, or at least I feel like that shouldn't be how it is. Maybe it unfortunately happens sometimes. He looked at, so that's why I kind of understand his reaction of like, what, like, why? I don't have to like be in this situation. There's no reason this should be happening to me, but life isn't fair sometimes, as well, and mistakes are made as well. I'm trying to see. I'm tiptoeing both lines here. I feel I'm walking on eggshells here. He looked at the sidewalk under his feet. He said he was afraid of being brutally arrested against the concrete. They just kept screaming to get on the ground. I was really scared. I didn't get on the ground. I just waited. Man, if it were me, you know, maybe it's just my personality, or I don't have his experiences as well. I'm a white man as well, so I have a different life experience just based on that in America. I'd probably get on the ground, and just do what they say, and hope that the mistake is figured out during the course of, and then maybe I get to sue them afterwards. Hey, yeah, maybe just do what they say, and maybe I get they get their comeuppance later for this mistake. But in the moment, it's probably not best to do too much. But I totally understand why he didn't get on the ground. Like, what, you don't have to just because someone points a gun at you and tells you to, if you've done nothing wrong. At least, that's my opinion. He waited until an officer came too close to him. Then he ran. Okay. I don't know about this running away stuff. He ran. He was scared. Makes complete sense. I can't even put myself in his position either. This is a tough one. But then he ran. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Even though what's happening to him isn't right, it's definitely not right. Running is going to make everything worse and make you look suspicious. I hate to say it. He was shocked with a stun gun, pinned down, struck in the face, and handcuffed before they realized their mistake. I cannot believe this happened. I mean, this is literally something that would happen in America. I had no idea this happened in Canada. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure the Canadian police realized their mistake. They didn't mean to do that. They thought they were arresting a criminal. But some mistakes, even if they're mistakes, aren't necessarily okay or forgivable. He was stunned, pinned down, hit in the face, and handcuffed. Probably because he was running away as well. Not that that gives them any right to do that to him. Here's a little picture of it. In the snow. They're pinning him down in the snow on top of it all. They later asked if he knew anyone called Gibril, a stranger whose name matches the murder suspect, who is also black. What? There's so many things wrong with this. Oh my god. He does not have a criminal record. So they pin him down and stun gun him and hit him and handcuff him, and then they're like, oh, oops, you're not the black man we were looking for. Oh no. And then they're like, do you know Gibril? Because you obviously know wanted murderers. That's bad. I felt the shock. Yeah. I hope some justice happens because of this. This is when he literally felt the shock of the stun gun going into him. I hope some justice comes to this man and he gets some kind of, I don't know, he should sue them or something. He should get some kind of payment for this. That is horrible. Traumatic. Talk about traumatic. The situation wasn't handled ideally by either members of this situation, but that is absolutely horrible that can happen to someone. Okay, and with that, I think I've gone on long enough. I just wasn't expecting that one. Holy cow. This is a really interesting day of Canadian news. All over the place. But I enjoy staying up to date and getting a sort of a current, sort of relevant live outlook on the state of Canada right now. I always enjoy that. I feel like I'm up to date with the best and maybe the worst moments for Canada in this week's news. But it is what it is. That is what it is. And I enjoyed it for what it was. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these news articles here today, or any news that I missed this week that I probably should know about. That'd be great to know as well. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and Canadian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.